Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Money Mobsters. This is number 22. Thanks, everyone, for joining. We'll just let everyone sort of get in here. But a lot to talk about. It's been 2 weeks, so we missed last week as well. Dougie was off gallivanting. He keeps his schedule full. Rockets, right? We're launching rockets.
Yep, it was the International Rocket Engineering Competition for universities. 140 universities from around the world showed up. And we went out and endured some kind of amazing conditions and trauma bonded over 111 degree heat with 20 to 30, even 40 mile an hour winds. And that means you couldn't launch. So it did feel like, just like grown up rocket stuff. And, they're all so dependent on weather. I have one image to show. I mean, I have other images that I can show, but there's one.
Do you guys just wait it out while while you're waiting on the weather to improve?
Yep.
Okay. How long were you guys there for? Just like chilling, waiting for a launch?
Almost 48 hours. So we're supposed to launch Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and then half day Saturday. And we launched like first thing in the morning on Wednesday, and then a couple of hours late on Thursday, and then Saturday.
Okay.
But look at this photo.
Yeah, check this out.
That is not from the set of Dune.
That was because it's from the set of Mad Max?
No, that was IREC 2026. So that was basically conditions Wednesday and Thursday, and then Friday it was torrential rains, and there was so much rain they wouldn't let the. They're like, "There's no way we can do 300 vehicles through here." Like people were getting stuck. Like the emergency services vehicles that went to go haul out the other vehicles that were stuck were also getting stuck.
The rescuers are getting stuck as well.
Yeah, the rescuers were needed to get rescued.
Speaking of getting rescued in rockets, what's going on with the Rocket Lab? I sold all my position at 140, and I basically just bought it all back today.
I mean, there's worse investments in the world, brother.
I mean, it's all the way back down to 85 after like the SpaceX IPO. Like Planet Labs got hit, ASTS got hit. You had some interesting observations too at the conference, right? Because they're recruiting for talent as well at these events.
Yep. They're recruiting. SpaceX was there. ASTS was there. Anduril was there. A couple other smaller companies were there as well. Karman Defense, for example.
What about like the primes like Raytheon?
Did not. No, Raytheon wasn't. There wasn't like a Raytheon or Boeing. They very easily could have been, but they were a little smaller.
Okay.
Companies. I did get to talk to some guys that are running a pipeline company where they're running aerospace talent to the primes. So they were a sponsor, and they had some lineups. So basically, they're kind of acting like headhunters, but they're also throwing cash at the university rocketry programs. So they're not strictly that, but then they're trying to take the talent that's being developed and go place that.
So it's like a specialized talent agency almost.
Kinda, yeah.
Yeah. That's a good way to go about it. Thanks again, everyone, for joining. If you got in late, we just sort of been talking about Dougie's rocket adventures, launching rockets in Texas and SpaceX IPO. Space is really like the happening thing right now. But nothing we say here is, this is the disclaimer part. Nothing we say here is advice or a recommendation. This is for, educational and entertainment purposes only. We're just two guys who, just do a lot of research and love the game. one of the stocks that we were talking about too, along with some of the space conversation, is Toast. So I got interested in Toast like 2 years ago, but I want to hear like what made you interested about Toast and like why you started digging, because we both now have had like a decent look at the stock, so I feel like we can talk about it a little bit. So yeah, what interested you in Toast a few months back?
There's a little bit of the just starting to see it everywhere in the restaurants, and then heard Josh Brown discussing it. So that got me curious. So I started looking into the company, and they have a pretty interesting business model where they're not just doing payment processing, which is it's kind of what I thought they were doing, but they're also running the hardware stack, and then they're also kind of running a almost a CRM type program, but it's like a restaurant management software.
Exactly.
That stack as well. So it seems like once you integrate that into your restaurant, you're not likely to come off it. So that seemed like not just a good business, but good hardware that people who use it enjoy, or enjoy might be a strong word, but they like it because it makes their lives easier. They've also built in it seems like a pretty nice moat into the world. Once you join the Toast ecosystem, you're in it. So
yeah, agree with all that. So they do the payment processing, they do inventory count. So like when you ring something up on your point of sale handheld, as soon as you serve that up, like it's automatically getting removed from inventory on the Toast software as well. So to order something else new, and what your margins are, so you can take all the data that you would now have from that CRM. You can do your payroll through there. You can do scheduling through there. Like there's a lot there. Their net dollar retention has been pretty strong. And to really drive this point home, everyone who I've talked to who uses it like daily, and this is a high threshold to hit. Most people who use software at their work do not like the software because there's typically bugs, right?
yeah,
And that's definitely going to be true of like Salesforce or any product like that that's just a bespoke software. But like at a restaurant, if you've ever worked in the food industry, you know that you don't really have time to be fiddling around with menus looking for crap, and you just need it to work, and you need it to be dependable, and stuff's going to get dropped, it's going to get messy. So that speaks to the hardware point. And every server, I've like surveyed like 15 people. These people, they probably think like, what kind of a weird nerd is this guy? Like he's asking me if I enjoy using my point of sale software. Like as they're giving me the bill, I'm like, hey, is that Toast? Do you like using it? But they all say yes. And like a few of them.
He's not joking, folks. I've sat next to him when he's asking his bartender, do you like Toast? What software do you use?
Peter Lynch used to say, you got to kick the tires, right?
Yeah.
Find out.
I'm trying to get drunk at the bar, and he's asking about the hardware and software stack that the bartenders use.
You can do both. So. You can do both. So Hollis asked, "Is this a Bitcoin chart?" That you're still rocking the Bitcoin chart, right?
Yep, yeah, that's a Bitcoin chart. It hasn't been updated in a few days, but yep.
Okay.
I'm excited about this price action though. Like this is going to be a great time to accumulate.
Speaking of Bitcoin, what did you think about Michael Saylor?
Couldn't care less. I don't know. I never
said that we wouldn't sell.
I don't know why our boy Amit decided that he was the cult leader. Just because you've been paying attention for 2 years does not mean Michael Saylor's the cult leader on Bitcoin. I mean, Andros Antonopoulos, like look up his probably like 6-year-old video now on YouTube. He is like the GOAT of explaining this shit. Michael Saylor is like Johnny Come Lately or Richard Hart or
I think he typically does a good job of explaining the principles of why it's a good piece of property that you can own and why the qualities of it make it preferential to other items.
Well, Wall Street listens to him because he was already on Wall Street. but he's barely a bit what I would call a Bitcoin maximalist.
Okay. Well, I know he doesn't lead the cult, but I'll tell you, a lot of people my age or younger, they absolutely know who Michael Saylor is, and he's very popular. So just out of sheer numbers, what he says does actually matter. And MicroStrategy does have a pretty good position, right? Like it's not a small amount of Bitcoin.
They do. And I mean, good for them. But I mean, it's a crypto winner all around, right? I mean, it's not like Bitcoin is down and everything else is up.
Right.
Ethereum, all of the big kids are generating buying opportunities right now.
Yeah. Venom, thanks for being here. June, Jackson, Lisa, thanks everyone for joining. Hollis, we appreciate you guys. Hopefully you're enjoying. Feel free to throw topics in the comments too if there's something that you want us to talk about. The next thing we had here was the Palantir sell-off. So not just Bitcoin getting sold off, but Palantir all the way down to 113 today. I've been adding on the way down, like in the 120s. I bought some more at 116. I'll take another stab probably like 102. I think it'll hold 100, but if it doesn't, I'm prepared to add leverage if it goes below 100 truly. Like, what are your thoughts?
I'm saving cash on the off chance that the market does something absolutely stupid and lets me buy leaps at a decent price.
I've
been adding small amounts of just trying to round up. Like, I may have like not 100 shares, a multiple of 100 or multiple of 1,000 shares in this or that account. So I'm just trying to like get those leveled off at better prices. And if we get under 100, if we get down to, something in the low 90s, it's time to lever up. It might be sell Nvidia or something and load up on Palantir.
Ooh, what's going on with Nvidia too? Like this whole the whole infrastructure build out and the chips, it's all ripping, and Nvidia's getting left in the dust. They're the linchpin to the whole thing.
Yep. But they're the number one market cap in the world, so that's the detraction on them, really, right? Is no one wants to buy the most expensive thing in the world, even though it's not the most expensive. It's just the biggest.
Right.
Right. Or you could say, all right, it's an enormous house, but the price per square foot is pretty low.
It's kind of like the comparison I'd make is it's like you're saying that you don't want to buy JP Morgan because you feel like they can't get bigger when they've been growing for like 100 and something years now. Right.
And I don't know why people are buying Intel. I mean,
Nancy's buying Intel. Did you see that?
They're a shit company with a shit product, and that never works well.
There's got to be something there.
All the money you want at it, they're not good at their jobs.
Well, I mean, it went from 22 to 133. Filing today said Nancy bought about $1 million. She also bought Uber, which I like. I bought some Uber today as well.
Did you see this Uber partnership in Houston? Houston's going to be the number 2 city for the Lucid FSD or full self-driving Lucids on the Uber network. Okay.
Does Lucid have full self-driving cars?
No,
they do not.
That's not going to stop them from marketing and announcing partnerships.
I just my main concern.
Maybe they do.
My main concern with Uber is not that they're going to continue to be profitable and make money, and I think they're actually going to hold up a lot better than people anticipate, with the exception that Elon has actually solved full self-driving, and he's hiring a bunch of people to make it legal in each state, and he's going to do like some massive rollout all at once across the whole country, or like Trump will do a federal, wave the hand, and he's just going to be like, hey, this is a federal thing now.
Department of Transportation says it's good.
Yeah. So barring that, Uber's going to hold up really well. And even if that does happen in the U.S. market, see some see some slowdown. The other markets, particularly Europe, they're just in like colder areas where snow hasn't really been solved yet, and you have just like more inclement weather.
Right.
Uber is going to hold up well. Now, if you guys don't know, about 40% of their business is actually delivery now, which I think is really interesting. So 60% is rides, so taxiing people around, but 40% of it's delivery, which they're still definitely working on that. It's very much a work in progress. I don't know. Do you guys have the little DoorDash robots running around town? Like on four wheels?
No, at least not the part of downtown I go to.
We have these.
But one thing I can tell you about Uber is they deliver laundry. They'll pick up and deliver your laundry as well.
Okay.
We don't do that at my store, but I've talked to owners and they have Uber drivers come pick up the loads and drop it off at customers' houses and vice versa.
I know Nebius has something similar to this, I think, right? But it's just like your standard, little robot goes out on the street, drives basically on the curb or like the bike lane with a little flag on top. I don't know. They're not doing huge volume, but I'm definitely seeing them around town here.
Domino's has those, crying out loud. So I mean,
yeah. So I don't feel like
they've been a gimmick for a while, right? That strikes me as that. I mean, you're generally bearish on this type of stuff, so I feel like that's probably your take as well. This is just a gimmick. It's like it's not scaling. There's no real demand for this stuff. It's just a gimmick.
It could. I mean, maybe like it could improve over time. Like a lot of stuff looks like a gimmick when it's Gen 1 or Gen 2, and then by Gen 6 it rules.
Yeah. If they S curve it, then then all of a sudden it's. And if you didn't have a position, you're not going to get in.
Yeah, I just feel like as a platforming company, that's a demand aggregator from both sides, both from the driver side and from, the rider side, or in this case, the delivery person and the person who wants their food delivered. DoorDash does the same thing. They're just demand aggregators. So like Booking.com, even Google Flights and Google Hotels, like they're just demand aggregators. So they have a natural network effect that sort of boxes out third and fourth.
They gathered all the customers, so go, and then they sell access to their customers, to their customer pool, to the ones that want to provide services, and it's not that dissimilar from Amazon and before that, eBay.
But specifically with rides, there's even more of a network effect too, because like a lot of times when people order a ride, they don't want to. So if you take Uber in the pole position, at least in the US, Uber, Lyft, can't even name a third place. And why can't you name third place? Well, because, they have their own app, but it's kind of a different thing because they also do some partnerships. But why was there never a third app behind Lyft? Well, because you wouldn't be able to get enough drivers on the platform because they wouldn't have any demand, right? You go drive on this third app, we'll call it like Chauffeur. So you go on the Chauffeur app and you sit there for 4 hours and maybe you get 2 rides and they're 20 minutes across town because the ride frequency is way lower. And then as a user of the app, the Chauffeur app, it just sucks, right? Because you're going to probably pay like the same or similar price and you're going to have to wait 20 minutes for that person who's all the way across town because there's not that many drivers. So volume begets more volume.
Yep. Not unlike money. Money goes where money is.
And where it's treated best.
Yeah.
We have a new Fed chair.
We do. And he said he's not raising or lowering rates. So next question. By the way, I have heard that the recent turndown in markets is due to inflation fears. Now, can you please tell me which component of the consumer price index, the producer price index, is supposed to be generating all this inflation? I thought it was supposed to be energy inputs, aka oil.
Right. It was.
But we knew that cost was transitory. And so everybody lit their hair on fire and destroyed their portfolio values for the last, 4 months? And now here we are. Oil has dropped 25% in a week.
Now, here's my take on this. You have to remember the people who said transitory 5 years ago are the same people, except for the Fed chair himself. They're the same people.
Yeah. But look,
so they have PTSD.
That doesn't mean that they're not idiots.
Thing. So when transitory actually does happen, they don't believe it anymore because they were wrong last time.
Well, and this is how stupid they are. So transitory, meaning in oil prices alone due to a dust up in the Middle East, which could be resolved at any time, causing prices to go back down, versus the government prints $2 trillion and then has to spend that. And they think that's not going to have a permanent. Yeah, so they thought the first one was transitory, and they thought the second one was permanent and worth, telling everyone the sky was falling. You cannot trust these people. I can't tell if it's stupidity or malice.
It could be a combo of both, right? I prefer to just think that they're really bad at their job, but that's just me. That's just me. Here's the dot plot. So here's what it looks like. I'll make this full screen.
Right, I'm gonna have to zoom way in here.
Yeah, let me do a little bit better here. So basically, you have half of the committee saying that we need like 2 rate hikes. I don't know, man. Steve had a really long rant about this. That he put on his X.
So for those of us who are not familiar, can you pull up the dot plot chart again and just explain to people what they're looking at?
Yeah, so the Fed will tell you that this is not a forecast. They try to avoid that word, but that's essentially how people interpret it. So figure 2, FOMC participants assessment of appropriate monetary policy, midpoint of target range or target level for the federal funds rate. So what we have here is the breakdown between 3 different years and then sort of like terminal, right? What do you see your terminal rate as? Now, what happens in the next 2 years is probably like what most people are looking at, because the further out you get, the less vision you have. Essentially, it's
right.
You just have less information to go on. There's more unknowns, essentially that. So, but this is why the market kind of freaked out after Warsh's meeting, is because each dot represents a Fed vote. So you have a bunch of people saying that we need to be, between 4 and 4.25 in this band right here. And that would indicate some hikes.
That is the most irresponsibly asinine reactionary thing they could possibly publish. That's just irresponsible.
Well, like you said, the main reason that everyone freaked out and said that we might have inflation returning a little bit was because of the Iran war and the oil input. Oil's back down.
Yeah. So once that one issue is resolved, the driving feature, it's not a permanent adjustment to the price of oil. It's a temporary adjustment to the price of oil. The only reason that you would change rates based on the price of oil during a war in the Middle East would be because you expect prices to never return to where they were.
I mean, it's literally where you would expect it, right? You have the Ukraine war and the Iran war. Other than that, oil has been, and the COVID dip, of course, oil has been incredibly stable. And it's right where it should be. It's recovered all the way. It's under 70. The other argument I heard, by the way, I'm not going to mince my words here. I'll try not to be mean, but I heard a take that, and I don't know whose take it was, but I heard that there was a take that we could have 3 rate hikes because of HBM memory going up and memory chips causing inflation. I don't understand where that would come from. That's like saying that the price of eggs is going to be a core driver of inflation. It's one input on one part of the economy. Oil is different because it's so used in the economy and you can't escape it, and it affects the cost of transportation and everything. If you think that memory chips getting into a bottleneck and being expensive is going to drive core inflation, and the Fed members are sitting there talking about like, should we raise rates? Micron's making so much money, the chips are kind of expensive. No, that's a stupid idea.
That's terribly stupid. You don't start raising rates until payroll and wage prices start to be affected. And no one is able to go out and get a massive raise on a job right now just because they changed jobs. And we are not having major job cuts. So there's more risk of layoffs than there is on wages rising uncontrollably. Right. Ergo, rates need to fall to encourage employment.
Right.
Not the other way around. One, even though it's a major component of the price indexes going that contribute to things that we buy, is not an issue of inflation. Inflation is the money you have is worth less, not things cost more.
Right.
I mean, it's a little bit. In some sense, people might say you're being cute, and that's doublespeak because they're the same thing. And effectively, they might be to the average person, but they are two different things.
Well, because one of them is relative to
people that run the Fed to be able to tell the difference.
Yeah. Dude, why doesn't Druckenmiller just run the Fed?
Because he wouldn't get nominated. It's too political. Oh, and don't think that the Fed members don't know that high rates can keep the brakes in the economy coming up on an election.
By the way, can we poke some fun real quick?
We can absolutely poke fun.
Do you see what I have pulled up?
I do not. Oh. Bro, I look better than those.
What are we doing? Guys? What are we doing?
I mean, look. You know that I think that glasses have to be the form factor for AI. They have to be. The human brain, the visual cortex processes way too much information to have any other input-output with our AI assistants. I'm sorry, text and looking down at your phone means you lose awareness of everything else that's going on around you, versus an augmented reality where the AI adds to the information that you're getting from the world around you. That requires glasses. It also allows you to have a bunch of cameras.
So that's a paradigm shift from like, I can access the technology and then I can put the technology away, and it's a very clear separation. The glasses and the augmented reality, that is bringing tech into the real world. So it's a fundamental consumer paradigm shift that requires digestion for sure.
Yep, and it's quantum's the wrong. It's a giant step in information processing that the human brain is going to be able to handle. Frankly, from what I think.
But will they use it?
But text and audio ain't it. Talking with Siri is not the way to take advantage of AI. Okay, so it has to be glasses. And if we think that the early versions of the glasses are going to be sleek and attractive, no, they're going to be clunky. They're going to pull up a video or pull up some Google images of the early cell phones, like a car phone. You're probably too young to know that they were just car phones back in the day, okay? Because we didn't have the battery technology to actually run a phone off of it. You had to run the power off the alternator in the car. But look at the size of a car phone. Yeah, they were massive, clunky devices that had cords on them. that they basically replaced your center console. They were so large. And now you have a single piece that sits in your pocket that could be smaller if they wanted it to be, but we like big screens. So
Zuck is, at least I'll give him credit here. We'll talk about Arena here in a minute, but Zuck has at least figured out that you have to get the price point down and you have to make it look normal. The issue is that there at some point there's going to become regulation around these glasses needing to have like a red dot on them that is flashing when it's filming, because people in society do not want to live in a world where they're just being spy filmed all the time.
No, sorry. That's bullshit. They already are. The only difference is they're afraid of individual people doing it,
right?
But they're totally fine with giant corporations.
But it's also right in your face. Like, yes, there's cameras everywhere. We know that, but people can, in their subconscious, kind of like kick it in the back. Where, like, if the glasses, like, if you and I are having a conversation, those glasses are right in my damn face. Like, I'm going to be reminded every single time I look at you to talk, every 10 seconds.
Well, the glasses are still going to be they're still going to be a middle. They're going to be a middle. They're going to be a teenage product, right? They're going to be they're still going to be the early product, because the final product is Neuralink, where they just patch that shit directly into your visual cortex. No lenses required.
I mean, I'm good on that. I don't like that either.
And they'll just use your eye, and your eyeballs will just be the recording device.
I think you can do audio on here. You can watch videos. I've watched full-length movies on my phone. You can do the texting thing if you want to. If you want to hold and do a voice message, you can just hold it down. If you want to film, yeah, it takes a hand. So, like, I think that these glasses might be more of like a GoPro, where you have special circumstances where it's useful. So, like, say you're snowboarding or something, and you just want to take it out there and like be on a phone call at the same time that you're live streaming or something. I don't know what you're doing with these glasses, but like,
no, the government will have them. They'll have them they'll have them probably before civilians will have them, but it's not a stretch to think that in 10 years, every single police is wearing them, because they're basically just going to have instant facial ID on everyone. They'll be able to see what your entire rap sheet is, your whole life, just walking past you on the street.
I mean, I could see cops using it, right? Like, cops already have a body camera on them.
Yep.
Regular people don't, right? Like,
they
people
do.
will pull
we have cell phones. You can walk around with your cell phone out recording all day long.
Yeah, now here's the difference. Like, if someone's holding up their phone and they're recording, it's really obvious that they're recording, right? Like, have you ever seen people walking around recording stuff? Like, it's really obvious that someone is like glued to their phone trying to get a shot. Like, they're holding it a specific way, they're walking a weird way. If people are wearing glasses and there's not a red light, then it's going to get weird, and you're going to get pushback.
Everyone's going to have it. Everyone's going to have it.
So do you think the red light's going to happen or no?
I'm sure the government will make it a requirement, because they're going to sell a shitload of fear to people about the red light.
I would like a red light.
About being recorded, but
I would like to know that I'm being recorded.
You are being recorded. You're being recorded right now.
You're not wrong.
Yes, you're being recorded every time you step in a Waymo. You're being recorded every time you step in an Uber. You're being recorded every time.
Those are opt-in things. Like, if I'm at the grocery store and someone just like walks up to me and they have glasses,
you're being recorded at the grocery store, bro.
I know, but that's the grocery store's property. So, like, there's an institution that's responsible for that property.
That they sell without your permission to who knows.
The point is, like, the Kroger is never gonna like show up at my house and use information or like leak a video online that I didn't know about because I didn't know I was being recorded. Right?
Of course they have. They send it to all the safety viewers that Meta has people reviewing everything before it gets uploaded. Just because you don't know where it goes doesn't mean it's not being shared and actually sold.
But it's entirely different than like some Joe Schmo out here who like records me, posts a video out of context, chops it up and edits it, makes me look like an asshole. Like that's gonna happen for sure to somebody, right?
Yeah.
And it'll be, they won't even know that the video was taken in the first place because they never knew it was filming. Versus like a security camera, it's really obvious.
It's not the
you
filming.
Can see security
it's not
cameras.
The recording that's the issue. It's the information processing, right? Look, there's absolutely going to be a highly liberal university student that comes up with an app that combines the glasses with facial recognition and data analysis on public voting rolls. And so that they will overlay every single person they walk past on campus as either blue or red. So they know just by walking, and it's overlaid in their glasses. They see it. No one else does, but they know who's blue, who's red.
But that's a company though who has liability, right? If they do something with your information and they broke a law, you can sue them. And to Hollis's point here, if you walk into private property, you opt in. So yes, I opt into Kroger filming me. I don't opt into one of Kroger's random customers who I don't know secretly filming me. That's where I draw.
It's not secretly filming. Everyone's filming everyone.
That's
the point. Everyone is filming everyone.
Dude, I don't film anybody. What are you talking about?
Everyone is going to be filming everyone.
Oh, it's going to be.
And having a recording of someone is going to be no big deal, because you won't be able to even, like you said, chop up and make a video, because literally 50 other people standing in that perimeter also had the same thing recorded on their glasses. Oh, and it's not just going to be looking forward, it's going to be looking aft as well. Oh, for example, I drive a Tesla. I'm recording everyone that I drive around 24/7. Yep, June brings up the dash cams.
But that's
I have 8 cameras in coverage, 360-degree coverage on my car. But I'm recording all of them.
That's to protect property damage and crimes and stuff. That doesn't happen.
FSD.
But do you see what I'm saying? It's a very specific application. That's my point. Like, we use cameras and record things for very specific reasons. We don't just walk around with them on 24/7.
Yeah, but how do you know you're not in the vicinity of like a sex criminal or something? You could totally combine Tesla FSD tech and facial recognition with the sex register database, and you can keep yourself safe. You don't even have to record. You're not recording it. You're just processing the data.
That just like that scenario seems
utopian as that. I understand.
I'm kind of like talking broad societal strokes here of like what people are going to feel comfortable with before they actually, like, before Elizabeth Warren gets up there and starts saber rattling about what we need to ban, because that's coming, right?
For sure. Yeah.
So, and at a certain point, she's going to win. So is at that point, is it the red light? Because if it's the red light, then the product adoption on the consumer side is going to go way down. Because again, what I just talked about, if I look at you, we're having a conversation, and every single 10 seconds I see a red light flash, I'm going to like, oh, now I remember that I'm on camera, and our interaction is going to be different when the red light is on versus when it's not.
Well, so the glasses already have those things. I have multiple pairs of Meta glasses. And it's a white light, not a red light, but it is a white light that comes out of the corner of the arm.
Okay.
And second of all, the other major hurdle is kind of the inverse of what Hollis said. If you walk into private property, you opt in. There's also, if you go to work at private property, they don't want you recording inside their business. Like, so when I first got mine, I wore it in the office a couple times. Fine, whatever. A year later, buddy, security people very, 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 very unhappy about smart glasses being worn. Wasn't me, but very unhappy about smart glasses being worn to a job. Someone wore them to a job interview.
Yeah, because you also don't know there's a security aspect too, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
But then it's one of those things that it matters to people who lived in a world without it, but people who grow up with it will give 0 Fs.
So you're looking at like 30 years out, 20 years out, something like that.
20 probably.
But
it depends on how many Luddites are in control, and for how long.
Well, not just Luddites though. So like let's look at these glasses here. So this is the cheap Meta ones, right? Like these can fit on an adult's face, but they're not going to fit on a 12-year-old's face. And then the second question:
they're not allowed to be on a 12-year-old's face.
Huh?
They're not allowed to be on a 12-year-old's face. They're too young. They can't opt into the privacy policies and have an account.
Okay, so then you're only looking at 18 plus. So then you can't actually even capture a new generation from the get-go.
Because we've regulated the business out of existence before it even had an opportunity to figure out what kind of business it was going to be. That's what we're doing all over the place with AI, by the way.
No, this is not being regulated at all right now. This is the market saying, hey, we're not buying these glasses the way that they exist currently. The product's not good enough.
Like I said, I don't want to have to wear glasses.
But if the product was good, it would be selling. That's kind of my point, right?
Well, I mean, how many more like Kylie Jenner? Like, how much more branding can they do with them? Right, Ray-Ban, Kylie Jenner. Like, you can't sell stuff to people that don't want stuff. And they haven't come up with a compelling reason. They don't have the killer app yet. That's what they're waiting on, right? That's what they need, is the killer app.
What do you think it'll be?
Posting photos and videos your Instagram is not the killer app for adding a new form factor.
Okay, so going back to Jackson's question here, why does it have to be glasses? Why not the phone?
Because the glasses mean you do not have to walk around with your head down looking at a phone. You can look around at the world around you, and the glasses can add information to what you're looking at.
What if I just want to drive analog? I want to drive stick, right? What if I don't want the additional information and it's too noisy?
Then take them off. Then you have decided that the application or the information being provided to you is not worth it.
Right.
Okay. But if an app comes along and all of a sudden the app is worth it, imagine for a moment that Apple Maps and Google Maps did not exist, but they still wanted to sell you a GPS in your phone. And you would be like, oh, the only reason to have this is for you to track me. It's a huge invasion of privacy. Why would I want this? But then they put Google Maps on there and you're like, oh, I see how this works. Okay, this is worth it to me. Now all of a sudden I can't go anywhere without my phone because it's my map to everywhere in the world.
Don't they also just do that though because they get advertising dollars off of maps? So like if you look up a restaurant or a store on Maps and then you click on it, you can visit the website or call them, and that drives business. So that's where Maps is.
Most people search on Maps. I think most people search on Maps when they're looking for directions.
Well, that too. But that's also just like a cool feature that they provide for free that helps keep people in the ecosystem.
Yep. It's the killer app. You have to provide the usefulness before you worry about monetizing it. You have to come up with the thing people want before you figure out how to make money at it.
Dude, can you imagine the parent-teacher conferences if schools started giving these out to children during class? If you think people are fired up about data centers, that'd be wild.
I mean, it would be a choice, June. And under the right circumstances, I think it's good. The problem is kids like to break rules.
I don't know. We'll see what the glass is. I'm still not convinced. I guess I'll have to see it happen. I'll have to see some people actually buy
Jackson, that is false, my guy. That is false, my guy.
Every killer app that is applicable to the glasses is already done perfectly on the phone. Okay, so
we don't know what the killer app for the glasses is yet because there has not been a compelling reason to make the change.
So you're thinking creatively here that the application has to come for the glasses to get adoption.
Yes.
So what's the application? Like something like the Android?
If I knew that, I would be a billionaire.
Okay. Well, why aren't you? Come on, figure it out.
Okay, I'll give you a little bit of insight into the future. Okay. Anduril's helmets.
Right.
Right? They are networking the and combining information from multi-sensor lattice network from drones, satellites, blah, 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 other devices worn by soldiers in your unit, combining into a single augmented vision that you can see in your glasses, in your heads-up display.
Okay, which is useful in combat where the consequences are high. But like, is the person in the army who is the drill instructor, like, are they going to be using the glasses? What for?
No, you're overthinking it, bro.
No.
You want to know what you want to know what this, you want to know what song is. You want to know what song is playing. You're riding, I don't know, on a subway, and they're playing music over the PA system, and you want to know what song it is. You don't even have to ask. The AI hears the damn music and it puts it on the display in your glasses that you read. You don't have to even take out your phone to look at it. It's right there in front of you. But that's the power of the AI, being able to filter out the unimportant information and show you the important information.
In the 2 seconds it takes me to reach in my pocket and open Shazam, you'll have to like swipe through menus on your screen looking like a silly goose on the train. Swipe left, right, left, right. Oh, here's the application, and now it's going to listen. I can just do that on my phone the same exact way. And so my point to the Android,
well, okay, so on the
drill instructor going to be using the Lattice headset. We're trying to figure out here if the application is narrow and specific, or if it's going to be broad and
if
widespread.
You're looking for a narrow specific answer from me, I'm not a tech CEO. I'm just throwing out possibilities here. I don't know how any of this stuff is going to work. Okay.
Right.
We didn't know when we built the World Wide Web in the 1990s. We had no idea that it would give us Instagram. Okay. We had no idea that Netflix was going to run on the World Wide Web. Okay. So saying that, the app that is applicable to the internet that's running on 28 kbps modems has anything to do with what it's going to look like in 30 years is just, in my opinion, foolish. And you're going to have so much processing power, like you're not even going to have to run out and do a little controller to tell you what it wants. Like your AI is going to know what you're interested in. Yes, eye motion, absolutely. There will be small cameras to look at your eye motion as well. And Zux has one already. The current like super advanced model they have, you actually wear something on your wrist, and you can just like have your hand in your pocket, and it's like tapping your fingers gives you the control over the interface.
Do we have anything like this that works, or are these just all like ideas? Right.
The wrist control, that's like $100,000 right now. So it's not at the consumer price level yet, but it's in
Does it
development.
work?
Jensen, I mean, Zucks has demoed it to people like Jensen.
Okay. Well, speaking of Zuck, prediction markets. So there's been some news with prediction markets. Wall Street Journal ran a piece on Polymarket. I guess Polymarket kind of went off the deep end here, allegedly. According to Wall Street Journal, they were paying influencers to market the product. All fine, all good. The problem then becomes when the influencer A does not disclose that it's a paid sponsorship, and then B, they place fake bets and pretend like they're real bets. So, I go place a real $10,000 bet. I win $20,000. I go tell all my people, hey, look at all this money I made. And it seems like it's real, but it's actually just a fake mock-up of the actual app. So, a lot of people are not feeling super great about the gambling culture that we're getting into right now. And also a lot of people don't feel like Zuck is super focused right now. And they're going to be launching a prediction market. They're going to start with fake money, apparently. So they're not going to do real money. They're just going to have some sort of internet coin. I'm not sure how that's
trading, Metacoin, and then it'll be
yeah.
Metacoin or whatever.
Yeah. Something.
Hey, Hollis, if only there was a company out there who was running an exchange that like validated all the social media influencers' trades. Man, that would be interesting, wouldn't it, Hollis? Man, too bad we can't buy shares in that company.
Did Hollis invest as well?
I'll let him speak for himself on that.
Okay.
But yeah.
I'm assuming that's a yes. Yeah. So for those who don't know, FOMO raised some money. Okay, there you go. Yeah. So FOMO. Do you want to explain FOMO since you're in it?
Is so right now it's basically a crypto exchange for small altcoins, stuff you really never heard of. And they're very social media keyed, where you can follow traders and copy trade them or see how they're working. It's like X and Robinhood had a baby. But the interesting thing about FOMO is everyone's account is validated. So you, okay, well, maybe not. Hollis says he learned how to fake his gains. Okay, maybe not. The concept is that if you're following a trader on FOMO, you know that their stuff is real and is correct. So yeah, they just raised 75 million on consumer crypto, and they're going to be adding securities in the near future. So you're on mute, my guy.
Is crypto like the majority of their volume right now?
Yeah, it's exclusively crypto right now.
Okay.
But yeah, I mean, so prediction markets will be available to them. Securities will be available to them. Yeah, I mean, they got some heavy hitters on the board too.
You have validated trades, right? So rather than some random avatar asshole on X who says that they did X, Y, and Z and fake screenshots and people who are faking performance, it's validated by a neutral third party. So that if you decide that you do actually just want to follow people into a trade, which it seems like a lot of people are doing, this makes that a little bit more authentic. But you have to get enough mass of people to do it for it to have value. Otherwise, everyone's just going to continue to live on X. And Robinhood's taking a stab at this too, right?
I believe so.
But we'll see what they come up with because they haven't released anything, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
But FOMO can run the much smaller altcoins than Robinhood can. So maybe that's a moat for them. Maybe not. We'll see. They have a lot. They have a lot of work to do to get to where we want them to go, but we're in for the ride.
we're in for the ride.
Yeah, the trades are real. So, like Hollis says, the trades are real. You can kind of move your net gains losses around by moving money in and out, but it does the app does show when someone closes out a trade whether it was a win or a loss, and how much, which is interesting to see.
Right. And the accuracy part really can't be understated. Like knowing that it's actually correct it's super important, right?
Yep.
Because there's a lot of deceit in the financial markets, it seems. So having pieces of information that you can count on being correct, that certainly has value, at least in my opinion.
Yeah. So we're looking forward to this being a nice experience over time, and just being able to pay some highly motivated individuals to go out and execute on their vision. And
Speaking
maybe
of
I'll
going
use the app in the future. What I do like is they've incorporated TradingView into it, which I consider to be the best charting software around.
That's a win. Speaking of wins and going out and doing things, so one of the fun things about making this like a part-time job or whatever is that you have the ability to live life a little bit, and if you've worked hard and you want to get yourself a new set of wheels, you can go out and do that. So I went and bought a car. I've been driving a paid off car for the last 9 years now, a salvage title car, and the right situation finally arrived where I was like, okay, I feel comfortable dropping some money, and of course it's a Toyota, so she's gonna run forever. But this is a Toyota GR86. Do you know anything about this car?
I do not, other than you liked it.
So it's obviously a sports car.
Yep.
It's a Boxer 2.4 cylinder engine, and it's super super grippy. It's super light. It technically is a 4-seater, but the 2 back seats are so tiny that you would never put anyone back there. But the trunk is actually spacious. You can fold those back 2 seats down, and then you have a pretty decent sized trunk for a sporty car.
You might be able to fit the dog. From the photos you showed me, you might be able to fit the dog.
I can for sure fit the dog
in the back once he's grown up.
Yeah, and we'll get the puppy out later. I know that's all anyone's actually tuned in for is the puppy, but so it's got 228 horsepower, so it's not the biggest engine, but because the engine is mounted low and it's so light, the horsepower doesn't even matter because it's got so much snap in terms of like taking corners at speed and not having to worry about like ending up wrapped around a tree. So I took this thing out, and there's some great driving. If you guys don't know, Arizona is not just desert. Arizona is gorgeous. There's areas like Sedona, beautiful. Jerome, Pine. There's so many great twisty roads out here, which is what this excels at. I'm not going to beat anybody in a drag race, but going out and hitting some twisties, like, just puts a smile on my face. And I know that now, instead of having to drive this beater to work every day for 25 minutes there, 25 minutes back, I now have like a fun little sports car that I can rack up speeding tickets in.
I get no speed tickets in my Tesla. Now, it is not light, but the center of gravity is so low it feels light. You know what I mean?
Right.
So you know what I drive. I'm sure you've driven one before. How's the feel compare?
I just did a base Model 3 is what I test drove.
Okay. Yeah, the Model 3 performance feels like a high-end sports car.
I think the regular Model 3 could actually beat my car off the line. Like 0 to 60 and probably a quarter mile.
100%.
But when we get into the twisties, like, I'm going to have way more fun. I'm going to have a smile on my face. I'm sure the Tesla is fun too, but it's a much heavier car.
Yeah, it is. But because the battery's on the bottom, so the center of gravity is super low, So it's very good at steering as well. It does feel like it's on rails. The other great thing about it is the power is instant. So like 0 to 60 is one thing, but 60 to 80, or I should say like 60 to 90 is also a thing. That feels very much like 0 to 40. Like we could be going 60 in the Model 3 Performance, and you can still put yourself back in the back of the seat if you're like, okay, we're gonna go to 90. So back when I visited you, man, we went on this extra drive, and it was just gorgeous. I mean, it was beautiful. It was like sunset, and we just went through this beautiful natural area.
We went
right outside of town. It was beautiful.
Yeah, we went down here. Let me see if I can get a cool street view look here. Yeah, the Bush Highway. Yeah, this is desert here, this part. This is for sure desert. You can do like Salt River tubing out here. Yeah, you see the motorcycles out here. This is a great road for this, but like this is for sure desert part. So this is right outside of Phoenix. But like this is gorgeous. And there's actually a river right here that you can float down all the way back to Phoenix. But as you can see from the topography here, as you go north, there's definitely some mountains. And if you guys didn't know, like this mountain right here, north of Flagstaff, this is a 13,000 foot volcano. It used to be 17,000 feet. It would actually be the tallest mountain in all of North America had the top not blown off because it's a volcano. But Flagstaff sits at like 8,800 feet. Like we have mountains and stuff out here. Sedona sits at like 6,000 feet. We went to this town called Jerome that sits at like 7,000 feet. Look how twisty these roads are. Like you go to town. This is an old mining town. You can see they stripped out all the copper out here.
Bro, you know what that reminds me of? Like the old Need for Speed games where you just had to like climb through the. It was like there was no straight road anywhere.
Yeah, there's not. There's literally not through the entire town. Like this is the whole city, and it looks like this. So, but what was really fun, obviously we're not ripping through town. I'm not a dumb asshole, but look at all these fun twisty roads. Really nice scenic views. You got hairpin turns left and right. Yeah, Arizona's not pretty at all, guys. Don't even bother. It's just empty desert. No. And then
that's how I felt about West Texas last week, man. I mean, you and I were actually DMing back and forth, man. Sunsets in West Texas are S tier.
I believe it. I can't do flat. I like a ridge. You know what I mean?
Yep.
And then there was this other section that we went and hit too.
Share this. Yeah, pull that one up.
So this is out near a desert town called Willoit. So this is like maybe just like 70, 80 miles away. Obviously, we've got more twisties here. This drive reminded me a lot of like Southern California, especially mountains like this.
Yeah.
But like you can see how fun these are to hit, man. You take a turn like this one. You take a turn like this at 45, 50 miles an hour and accelerate out of it. Woo-wee!
See, those I'm okay with. It's going around the other side that I'm just like terrified of. That's something that I'm going to come around that bend and there's going to be something in the road and I'm going way too fast to do anything about it.
Well, obviously you have to be in control, right?
No, it's not you being in control at all. It's like there's just something else on the road out there.
Oh, yeah. Gorgeous.
So that was actually sunrise in West Texas. So I had a thunderstorm / down. It was a full thunderstorm. There was lightning strikes. I didn't capture any of the lightning strikes, but that was an amazing view because the lightning strikes were coming down like right out of that cloud. backlit by the sunrise. I've never seen anything like it. It was amazing. And then, you know, I felt like I was on the set of Dune or Tatooine.
Yeah, Texas is a little wild. Like it can go from hot to hurricane to whatever. So, yeah, some very cool life updates. I think. I think it's time for the puppy cameo.
Puppy cam. We have to give the people what they want.
Puppy cameo. Puppy cameo. Oh my God.
Dude, look how big he's getting. He's like 28 pounds already.
Bro, what did you do with my puppy?
Look.
He's like twice the size.
Look, he's huge.
He is. He's literally twice the size he was when I saw him last.
Yeah. I've been taking him on runs. Like I took him on a run this morning. Selena and I have been running him too. This morning it was just purely to wear him out because, dude, he just goes now. So now you actually have to like tire him out.
Yeah. Hey, my dog's the same way. She's 10. Like we can not physically tire her out because you also have to consider she's gonna like nap half the day anyways. When we're awake and working, she's napping.
So he's gone from like 8 to 28 pounds in maybe like 10 weeks, something like that. We haven't had him long.
I know.
Yeah. What?
Is he still have that little pop belly?
Less than that.
When we got him at 7 weeks, he was like 9 pounds. And then 2 weeks later, he was already at 13.
So he went from 9 to 13 pounds in 2 weeks.
Wow.
Yeah.
How much was he when I was there?
Are you coming back?
He had just come off the deworming when I was there. How much was he weighing? Probably closer to 10 pounds.
Yeah, I think that would have been probably like
He's probably 12 pounds.
12, yeah, 12, 14, somewhere in there.
Yeah, he was a little guy, and he's twice the size now. I can't believe that.
So pro tip for anyone who's thinking about getting a puppy, check their stool the first time you take them to the vet. They might have some tag-alongs, So that's their public service announcement to keep your pets healthy.
Yeah. So Dougie's going to be looking at a new fund this week. Probably not interested in pulling trigger on it yet. But I saw our boy Stephen Fiorillo just published an article about it. It is XQQI. And they're running a leverage strategy to produce a 20% yield. So I'm going to be taking a look at that since I'm living off dividends now.
So it's brand new from February. It's NASDAQ 100 high income ETF. So I imagine it's selling like kind of aggressive in the money calls, right?
On the Qs.
On the Qs. So over time, do you anticipate that there's going to be like NAV erosion and you're going to see an overall decline? Because I know that's like a common problem with a lot of these tools.
Well, Neos has done a very good job so far with their more mature products of not having that NAV erosion, of being able to avoid it. Now they have some newer products that are a little more we'll see. Like I said, it's new. I mean, what I don't want to buy is like a yield max thing, right? Like Misty or Hoodie or whatever those Ys are, because those are definitely crushing out the NAV erosion. But Yeah, Neos has thus far on some of their more mature products avoided that serious nav erosion. So we'll see. But I'm going to start doing. Yeah, I'm going to start looking into that. I might start a very 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 small position just to start seeing how it performs. I mean, because just like as a base on their holdings, you can't hate those names.
I did see a 0.98% management fee. So they're not offering their services very cheaply.
No, they're not. At some point, I do believe you get what you pay for. But as the consumer, it's up to you to figure out who's actually providing a real service and who's just charging you shenanigans. But if they are put it like this, if they are generating a 20% yield, isn't a 1% fee worth it?
Assuming that you're not actually losing principal.
Right. Yeah, if they're generating a 20% yield and you're not experiencing large amounts of nav erosion, is a 1% fee what they deserve for doing their job? I was talking with another investor about this, and like, why don't I just do it myself? I could avoid the fee. I'm like, you could. In theory, they're not going to. He's like, well, I was trying to call them and get them to explain to me how this works. And I was telling him, they're not going to do that. That's their proprietary information. That's what they charge the fee for, bro. And he's like, yeah, but they can't explain how it works. I'm like, they have no obligation to do that for you.
I've never been a fan of that explanation, though. Like proprietary, I've never liked that explanation.
If you figure out how to make money with a specific trading strategy and you say, I'm putting my services up for sale, you're not going to tell people how it works.
That's true.
You're just not going to.
Renaissance Technologies didn't go around telling everyone how they did the medallion fund, right?
Right. They're going to say, oh, we will get you, these are the returns we're getting. Do you want some of this? Okay, pay us our fee. We'll do it for you. It's just like paying a contractor to do something at your house. Like, yes, I could remodel my kitchen, but I'm going to pay these guys to do it because it's a lot easier for me. However, yeah, so their QQQI has done really well, so I'm going to be looking at this extra one. Now, I'm not starting a position. This is not financial advice, but that is what I'm going to be spending a good deal of time starting to figure out whether or not I'm going to put some fundage in there. So, what's Dougie looking at? He really is looking at this dip on his favorite companies, Palantir, Rocket Lab, and Robinhood. And then he's also good looking at this new fund. But man, the dip on D-Wave is looking sexy as well.
Let me pull up some of these tickers here.
And then I have a whole lot of research to do on helium, because I guess that's the next bottleneck.
So this is the 5-year for Palantir. And then here's the 1 year.
Yeah. So dude, lots of people crowing about it. I told you it was going to go down.
Who is selling though?
People who are buying Nebius.
All right. This is a little bit more durable than that, but all right. You can chase Nebius. I can tell you one of these is going to be bigger in 5 years.
Speaking of Nebius, I know our boys had their stock draft while I was busy in the way. So I haven't had a chance to like really dive in on all that yet. I did see that Mitt got Rocket Lab.
Did he just want to steal it from Matt? Is that what happened?
I think so. But and Tanner has Palantir. Like things have switched. Yeah, look at it. Go back and look at that D-Wave chart for the year.
For the year. So here's year to date, but here's the last year. We were all the way down here at $14.
Yeah. It's amazing how that felt already. Like I was already so high up on that.
Because you bought down in here at like $3, right? Something like that.
Yeah, I was buying in like October of 20. Was it October of 23, June? That we were in Vegas? Was it 23 or is it 24?
October of 23.
No, it must have been 24 because the election had just happened. Yeah, October
so
of
like
24 is when I bought.
Like $1.50, something like that.
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, this is a nice constructive. I'm not a TA expert here, but like this is a nice constructive, long-term sort of move.
Trajectory, right?
Yeah.
And then and then like Siege comes along and he'll talk about, hey, look who has the certifications, right? And so D-Wave has those locked up,
right?
And we see that they're really starting to get their military applications going.
So Trump signed some executive orders. Did you get any chance to read up on that?
I have been almost completely out of touch. Like I said, I don't even know. Is the Strait of Hormuz open?
Someone tell us in the comments, in the chat, is the Strait open? I think it's open. But I didn't confirm it.
June and I are so old and we've been friends so long now, we don't remember which year we met in Vegas. June, it had to be 24 because it was just after the election, right? And we were like, we took pictures in front of that mural.
Google's saying the Strait is open, but like our boat's going through is the question, right?
Right. And is it 7-Eleven, like they're always open now, or is it like Chick-fil-A where it's closed on Sundays? Or I mean,
well, it would have to be open mostly because we just looked at the oil chart.
Yeah. I'm trying to tell dad jokes here. Stop taking me seriously.
No, he's like Jamar Chase, 7-Eleven always open.
Yeah.
Okay. Oil tanker, per Fox Business, oil tanker traffic through Strait hits highest level since conflict began, but mines remain. 109 vessels transited the Strait over the weekend, though hundreds more remain in a backlog waiting to pass. Interesting. So it seems like we're mostly at capacity, but there's just a traffic jam.
Yeah, probably. They've been held up for God knows how many months, and they're just trying to get out in an orderly fashion.
Right. And here is the lab of rockets. So here's where Austin bought the day of earnings. And then it went all the way up here. I sold like probably in here, like 137-ish. And then I just started rebuying this candle here.
Nice.
I'm getting the same price. I don't intend to like trade a stock like this, but if it's gonna, so when I invested in this name, I was hoping for like a double in 3 years, right? And then it doubled in 3 weeks. And I was like, well, thank you very much. Don't mind if I do. And now in another 3 weeks, it's just gone right back down to where I bought it originally. So now, once again, I'm hoping for a double in 3 years.
So I ran some covered calls on Rocket Lab, and ran them out and up as the trade got way far away from me. And now that it's coming back to me, I'm rolling them down and in again, and I'm taking more profits.
And this all has to do with SpaceX, right? It just has to.
It just has to. I didn't understand why Rocket Lab was running if people were getting ready to buy SpaceX. That made no sense to me. I was like, so you're buying. It would have made sense to me. You said, well, I can't buy SpaceX, so I'm buying Rocket Lab. Okay, that makes sense. Now, oh, hey, SpaceX is about to IPO. Let me buy Rocket Lab. Well, I thought SpaceX was the one you wanted the whole time. So why weren't you buying that?
Well, because you had traders moving into the position knowing that it was going to pump going into the IPO. IPO happens, they sell their shares and they buy SpaceX instead.
I guess.
I think that's what happened.
Well, you got to buy a lot more. Well, you got to buy a lot more to keep that SpaceX valuation where it is than the Rocket Lab movement here.
100% correct. I wish more people would read an S1.
Look, I'm a shareholder of SpaceX because I want to be a shareholder of SpaceX. It's not a lot of shares. I'll have a plenty good opportunity to buy some of that S later. But right now, I get to say I'm a SpaceX shareholder.
At least you know what you're doing, though, in terms of the price that you're paying for it. You know what their numbers are. You're coming into it with a clear head of hey, I know what price I'm paying, but here's the possibility, right? I think a lot of people don't actually know what they're buying and for how much they're paying for it.
Yeah. The problem, and it's not a problem, but the issue at hand, my guy, is if the merger happens, I'm off sides. I'm not all in. And that will be a pump to end all epic pumps. You know what I mean? That's just going to go. That company combined, Tesla and SpaceX, is just going to be off the charts.
There's a theory out there that Tesla is withholding the release of nationwide self-driving. I don't know if this is cope or if this is an actual genius move. It could very much be either. But if he's intentionally holding back the price of Tesla now to make it a better deal, and then you combine the companies and then roll out self-driving,
I mean,
all at once, it's not a bad move.
He does have a good head for just business, just making numbers line up and work.
Yeah. But so here's what so it was 135. We got up to 176, and then we traded back down later that day. Day number 2 was the big winner. And then day 3 was this guy right here, all the way up to 200. And was that the high 222?
Yeah.
And then we came back down, and now I'm getting advertisements. But first 1, 2, 3, 4, 8 trading days are in the books. We got 2 more to go this week.
And we're already below IPO price?
Yeah. With more lockup to come.
Totally predictable. Because it's what happens with every IPO, people.
I wanted to tell people so bad, but I mean, sometimes your employment status dictate that you can't really talk about these sorts of things. So
don't worry, I was saying it.
There was plenty of people saying it.
I love SpaceX as a company. I love their mission. I love their tech. I love their work ethic. I love their hustle. Like, I love all kinds of things about this company. I'm looking forward to be a shareholder, but I'm not
And we're
paying
rooting
that
for
price
them.
for it. It was like
Right.
when I was buying a laundromat, right? It was like, okay, I'm not paying that much for this store.
Right.
Like, I'm buying a business. I'm not paying your asking price for this store. It's like not unlike buying a house. I'm not paying that price for this house.
Right.
Like, I like your house. You have a beautiful house. If you make me the right offer, I'll buy it. But I'm not paying that price for it.
Yeah, you don't, even if it's your dream house, say your dream house is like a $750,000 house. Okay. And you go to the house and you're just like in love with it. And you're like, oh my gosh, this checks all the boxes. You don't immediately just go and offer $5 million on the house that Zillow has at 750. That's kind of the best analogy I could make. It's kind of sloppy, but it works. People don't do sometimes the best job of separating the stock from the company. And I think this is just going to be like another lesson of that reality. But Tesla's been priced ridiculously for how many years now? Like 5 years running.
Right.
So who knows? The show goes on.
Yeah. Look, Tesla's a great company. He's got lots of great companies. Just roll them all up and get them together.
Do you think that'll be helpful for him just to have it all consolidated?
Yeah.
Like,
I mean, think about how much overhead goes into operating a company that big. Just like the HR department, just the nuts and bolts of getting payroll out the door every week, like just stop duplicating all those costs of just having a business.
This is the type of stuff that I've seen so much, actually. So much. Why would I pay 2/3 the price for SpaceX for Rocket Lab at 100 when I can just buy SpaceX, who's obviously way bigger, and I'm only paying 150? And we don't know what a market cap is.
June has an excellent point. You make an excellent point, but there's also, because people don't understand how it works, means you can actually trade on that.
It's free alpha.
Right. And they're not wrong. For every dollar that SpaceX goes up, you make almost as much as you would for every dollar Rocket Lab goes up.
Right.
And the spreads are, there's a minimum on a spread. It's a nickel, right? Between the buy and the bid and the ask.
I'm excited to see what
on the option strike prices, they're $1 anyway.
I'm just excited to see what Rocket Lab does over like the next 3 to 5 years, because Matt's been pounding the table and preaching the thesis of, they've been doing lots of acquisitions and sort of going around collecting the Infinity Stones, as he calls it, and it seems like they're very much the real deal. And the love that I see Rocket Lab people have for Sir Peter Beck, there's only like two other CEOs who I can think that like people love that much, and it's Elon and Karp.
Yeah.
So
from the people who work for them.
Yeah, I feel comfortable buying it here, even though I know it's still a little bit long in the tooth, maybe. But I feel like you have institutional support at a certain level, and that 5 years down the road, you're going to end up with a much bigger company than I think a lot of people anticipate if the space thesis plays out. And I think they're actually in a really, really solid position.
So the thing is with space, it's almost like an inverse moat, right? I mean, there's going to be a few companies that are in it, but it's the gateway to the unlimited TAM that is literally the rest of the universe. So just on that principle, just understand that they're going to be one of the few companies that's going to be taking the toll for everyone else to access whatever we find of value outside of low Earth orbit.
And plus all the products that we know today are already commercially viable that is currently fueling the demand, right? So satellites going up to space. Everyone's talking about
defense products, like
defense products, imagery, weather, satellites, like all these different things, telecommunications. Just all these different applications that are already commercially viable. And then you get into like stuff that we can see on the horizon. So like data centers in space, landing on the moon, landing on Mars, and then maybe finding stuff that's useful there. And then there's, Elon's thesis about making sure that humans don't go extinct on the blue ball. We make sure that we expand to a second ball so that, if anything happens to the blue ball, we're not screwed. I don't think that makes money, but I support that effort. And Rocket Lab's just trading at a much better valuation than the Big Bad Wolf. Although I would love to see both companies do very well.
And they will. I think that SpaceX is going to prioritize large launch or extra large launch, and Rocket Lab is just going to be content to be in medium, small, medium, and then maybe some light, heavy launch as well. It's almost like let SpaceX and Blue Origin fight over extra large launch.
So is Blue Origin still a number 3 or after? Because they've had 2 failures now, right? Or they blew up their launch pad and then they lost the payload for ASTS, and that was like a month apart from each other, right?
Yep. And don't forget, Boeing is still out there who thinks that they're a large launch, and ULA still thinks that they're a large launch, but they're not. They're nowhere near reusable.
So, and that kind of speaks to the moat that these companies have, though, is it's not easy to reproduce what these companies are able to accomplish.
They're almost halo trades. The rockets are not the heavy assets. The factories are the heavy assets.
Makes sense.
Because the rockets, even the ones that are reusable, are still kind of disposable, right? I mean, if SpaceX launched the Falcon 9, it lost today, it would be like, oh, well, I guess we got to build another one, And they can do it, right?
Right. Well, I think that sort of does it for our agenda. Anything else that you wanted to hit on before we get out of here?
Nope. Like I said, I had an amazing week volunteering to work with the university students, and then just being around all the other people that are just dedicated to working with kids and just helping them. And by kids, I mean college students, but just helping to make sure they have opportunities to grow their science, math, their STEM skills, and give them real hands-on learning opportunities. It was just amazing. All the kids that I worked with were fantastic. I worked with University of Houston, University of Texas at Austin, Georgia Tech, Kennesaw State University, and Polytechnic University of Bucharest in Romania. And we had four out of 5 successful flights. The 5th one, it was not the team's error. Literally, the motor blew up in flight. And this was a motor they bought commercial off the shelf. So
nothing you can do about that.
Yeah, it blew up one or so seconds into the flight. So they were hugely disappointed. I mean, tears in the eyes. We put a year's worth of work into this, traveled halfway across the world to fly it. But those kids, every single one of them had something to contribute, and It was really fun seeing them celebrate with their teammates and everything when they had, successful launches. So anyway, just all this to say, if you have an opportunity to go back and give back to kids in your, in one way or another, I recommend you do that.
Were these the kids after the rocket? Just like this look in their face?
Very much so.
Yeah.
Very much so.
I
actually do have one more photo I think I could find.
And then that picture was taken after like he was thinking like, holy crap, can I continue? And SpaceX almost went bankrupt after that third failure, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Let me see. I mean, because it's kind of a important photo from this year's group as well. It might be on the Flickr. Let's see if I can find it. Sorry, folks. It's gonna, but it is very much a team whose rocket blew up did that kind of same thing where they went and found every single last piece of debris and put it together. In their hotel room to start working on figuring out what happened.
And that was the process, and that's how they figured out it was the engine.
We knew on the one I was with, we knew it was the engine just because we watched it.
Okay.
But this other group, well, I might have it to show you later. But all right, I will share this tab, and we can just call that to be done with it. Yeah. So.
Holy smokes. And you said there's multiple countries here represented, right?
Yep.
Wow.
Yeah, Australia, Brazil, Mexico, Venezuela, Costa Rica, Turkey, Romania, UK.
The future of space is here, and Dougie's leading the way.
I just get to help point them in the direction.
There you go. Dude, that's so cool that you keep busy with all this stuff. Like, I know when you first, found yourself some free time, your schedule filled up right away, immediately again.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, it was one of those things like, oh, how much free time do you have? Well, I guess I have a lot, I guess, so.
Not anymore.
I know. Well, no, I have a couple months off now, so. Yeah, I need to figure out what the next trips are going to be.
Well, cool. Let's wrap the show up, and then we're going to talk about going to an LSU game at some point. We gotta straighten that out.
Yes.
All right. Thanks everyone for joining. We appreciate you so much. If you liked it, share with a friend, subscribe, do all the things, hit the bell. I don't know what they even say. Is that even still the thing? Who cares? Doesn't matter. We're not really YouTubers.
Shout out to Davis. Can we put his name?
Oh yeah. Let's plug Davis. Good call. Good call. Let's see if I've got him on here.
If you don't know Davis, he's a really cool guy that I've gotten to know at some of the recent meetups, and he's going to start doing a social media journey all his own as well. So give him a follow. He's a very interesting guy.
Well, and the first video is only a minute 49, so we can just actually watch the whole thing right here.
Oh, yeah, but
All right, so this is probably the last place you'd expect somebody to make videos about the stock market, macro, micro environment of the world, certain companies. But that's the whole point of this series. I want to do something different. I want to do something fun. Over the last, 5 years, I found a passion for investing, a passion for studying companies, markets, investing in general. But I've also found a passion for the outdoors. And so I figured I could combine the two. Right now, I'm in Yosemite. This is week 1. Week 52, I might be in Nepal. I don't know. We'll figure it out as we go. But one thing that I've noticed is that the finance world is saturated with videos. And there's one common trend, and that's everybody's in an office, at a podcast studio, behind a desk. I just want to be different and do it outdoors. And I'm not trying to be a big YouTuber. I'm not trying to make it big or sell courses or anything like that. I just kind of want to track my own investment journey. But I want to have fun with it because I want to see where I'm at in a year, in 6 months. So, yeah, my plan is just to talk about my trades, what covered calls I've sold, what cash secured puts I've sold, a little bit about my favorite companies too. I mean, hey, Palantir and Zeta, they just announced a strategic partnership while I was here. That's epic. So as I go on, I'll start talking more and more about what I'm doing. But for now, this is video 1, and we'll see where we go from here. So stay tuned and enjoy some Yosemite.
Yosemite's amazing, by the way, if you haven't been.
I have driven past it on the Wyoming side.
The Nevada side?
Nope. We're in Wyoming.
Are you talking about Yellowstone or Yosemite?
Oh, yeah. I'm probably talking about Yellowstone.
I was like, wait a second.
Starts with a Y. It's a national park.
Fair enough. Well, cool, guys. We are going to get out of here. Thanks, everyone, for joining. Go subscribe to Davis's channel. Wait, what would you even... I put the link in here, but let's see. I want to give you the proper channel name here. He calls it Davis Cheney, spelled like this. Davis Cheney. So go look him up. Here's the link. Once again in the chat here. Thanks everyone for joining. Hopefully this was either fun or informative. We are out of here. My name is Mobsters 22. Ciao.
Ciao, Bella.